If you are new here, please button subscribe, activate that bell notification so you cannot miss one of my video every time I do upload. Please let me know where you're watching this and let me know what do you thinking about this. Please, I want to have a decent conversation in the comment below. And this is all about June 16 in South Africa. One of the saddest day in the history of Black South Africa. This was super, super bad. This day is not a day of celebrating, but at least it's the day of commemorating. There is the biggest difference between celebrating and commemorating. As this today is June 16. We go back to 1976, what happened in Soweto, in Gauteng, in South Africa. And me, as an African, I know I was not there. But at the time that I read the history and I keep on thinking about what happened to the young Black South African, man, I feel like crying. This is why you see my thumbnail, like, it's like I'm crying on my thumbnail. Although, well, I had to do that with AI, but I just feel like this was too much. 1976. And today, we are commemorating. We are not celebrating, but we are commemorating the bravado. We're commemorating the audacity, the strength of the Black student that stood up against the white oppressors that came to colonize us, to oppress us, and to force us to do the things that they wanted. And this is the reason why Africa, we always going to be behind. But I do believe that Africa is one of the continent in the world that need to be built, that need to be doing a lot of things. So for me, as an African, as a Pan-African first, I always say that Africa is the paradise of this world because everybody already done things. And the only people that still need to do a lot of things are African people. So if you are an African, if you are a South African, do not feel like you are behind because there is a lot of work that needs to be done for us African, South African. And every time I've been reading about this June 16, watching videos and stuff like that, and I feel like, nah, man, I just have to release this, not only from myself, but I just need to release it so I can sympathize with those people that lost their lives, those people that, I mean, it was crazy, man. Let me know in the comment below. Please hit the button like and hit the button subscribe so I can continue to do more videos, guys. All right, so I can continue to do more videos. All right, so June 16. I'm not going to be telling this story like a full South African who was there. I believe that historians and our archaeologists, they could have told the story more, but I'm a storyteller. So when I read, I want to tell a story. And the protesters, they had enough of what the whites oppressors were doing. And they say, no, we are not going to be doing this every single day. You bringing your things, like you forcing us to learn things that we don't want to learn. Why are you doing this? First of all, it was a shock for me when I came to South Africa. I feel like I see like Black South Africans are calling other Black Africans African. And I was like, this is insane because I just come from Congo and we don't call people from Rwanda Africans. We just call them Rwandan because we already know that they are Africans like us. If I go to Tanzania, it's the same. They will ask you, who are you? Are you Mkongomani? You know, things like that. Are you Mkongo? You know, you go to Burundi, you go to Kenya, it's going to be like that. But when it's come to South Africa, I was shocked to hear South Africans are calling Black Africans African. And when you tell them like, what's going on? You calling me African, so how do you call yourself? They'd be like, but you are African, so what's the issue? And I'm like, what the hell are you though? Like, you ain't African? Things like that. So that was imperialist mindset that was planted into South Africans' head, black South Africans. And this is bringing a major problem in South Africa because they were not educated as Africans, but they were educated as Europeans. Don't get me wrong. They were educated not as Africans, but they wanted to educate them by the force of Europeans learning about their masters, not learning about their rich and wealthiest continents or their countries. It's super unable for a 15-year-old in South Africa to tell you at least about 4 countries in Africa. Like let me say like a five, or telling you the economy of that country, the presidency, or the currency, or something that the country can do. And don't get me wrong, I used to blame people because of this before, and I came to realize that that was not actually their fault, actually. It's been designed for them to be like that. It's been systematically designed for South Africans kid to be like that. And imagine some of people did not get the opportunity to attend the schools, the university that they wanted to attend. I was so shocked. I was so sad to hear that you could not go to university if you were a black South African, a certain area, at certain ages, certain periods, certain times in South Africa. Like that, I was so shocked. And I remember like as a Congolese, although I was born in 90s, the Belgians, when they colonized Congo, they had another system of colonizations. Their system was based fundamentally on education. Like they need to educate the black people. That does not mean the black people did not have their own education, which is, if we read more about education, that I made another video in long time ago, the education actually came from Middle East and then Egypt, right? All of these things like medicines and stuff like that. But they had to make sure they cut the ties between our ancestors and us so they can give us what they want so they can take what they want, right? This is actually one of the powerful things that it applies in so much strategy. Give them what they want so you can get what you want. Do you understand? And that's actually what the white people did in South Africa. One of the most saddest day in South Africa, June 16. So the struggle of education was so big, very, very big, because people were not learning the things that they were supposed to learn, right? And this is actually brings a lot of things into the modern challenges like inequality, like unemployment. Do you understand? Because if you teach an African kid about Napoleon Bonaparte, you're teaching an African kid about Zurich, Amsterdam, Paris, Musée du Louvre, the Eiffel Tower, or the London Bridge. You make them watch Cocomelons. They don't have any time to learn about Amadou Ampateba. They do not have any time about learning Kemet history in Egypt. They don't have any time to learn about the Kunta Kinte story, the Kingdom of Congo story, the empires of Mali. They don't have any time to learn about Timbuktu, the Kush, the Kushites and stuff like that. They don't have any time to learn all those things about Africa because you designed a system that's going to work against them, not really going to work for them. And this is very, very sad, guys. Like as I read about June 16, how many people died, the people that had to march, almost 20, like almost 10,000 to 20,000 students, they had to march so they can make things happen for South Africa. Do you understand? So this has been historically one of the saddest day, and today is mark on the 50th of birthday, oh, like anniversary of commemoration, and I feel so bad. I actually stopped reading before I take my microphone and I put on my camera. I was reading and I'm like, no, 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 this is really, really too much. I'm not gonna finish reading this because if I keep reading this, it's gonna bring me more sadness. And if I am more sad about this history, uh, it's really, really going to be so bad. Do you understand? So this were really, really bad for me and to the people that lost their family members, people that lost their lives, to the people that fought that fight. Like we commemorate you, we salute you so badly, and we appreciate you for your fight because if you did not fight that day, maybe some of the people could not have the freedom that people have today, right? And this is why June 16, it's not a party where people should be celebrating, but it's the commemoration where people should be paying attention to what's going on in the country, right? Africa stood up, people stood up, international committee stood up, Europe stood up, Asian like Cuba stood up, Fidel Castro there in Cuba stood up, people like uh, Julius Nyerere stood up. People stood up, and they were like, "We got to do something so the people there in the South can be liberated from that what Trump used to call obliterated regime of the oppressors." All right, man, this is just like too much. But I feel like when I was reading, I feel like I was there, and I feel like that was too much, and that's why today I come to say, Happy June 16, and people shouldn't forget that. People should not really, really forgetting that because it was huge, and this is why Africa doesn't need to be divided, but at least to be united, because when the conquerors came to conquer, they make sure that you are being divided because the more you're dividing, the more you can conquer so easily. All right. And they managed to do that. They made it and it's happening. It's still happening right now. They created borders that we didn't have. They created provinces that we did not have. They created a lot of things, implementing their languages that we did not have. I don't say like languages are bad at all, but I think we should be focusing more on our languages, on our like semigration, immigration, and stuff like that, than follow what the oppressor came and tell us to do. All right. You let me know in the comment, guys. If you're watching this for the first time, if this is your first time at AMKA Podcast, please let me know in the comment what do you think below. Let me know what's your experience. What do you thinking about history? Because there's so many blind people that they don't like to read history. So many blind people that they don't want to put themselves in other people's shoes. So many blind people that they've been brainwashed. Reading is so powerful. If you keep on reading, you actually gonna open your eyes. You actually gonna brighten up your brain, right? Read history, read archaeology, read geography, read economics, read science, read scripture of God. Those things they're helping you a lot to be bright, helping you a lot to know like what's going on, what can you do, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So please keep reading. Trying to do like if you can't do books, trying to do audiobooks. All right. If you can't do audiobooks, there are so many plenty of audiobooks. YouTube. I love LibriVox so much. LibriVox can literally give you hundreds of a lot of things. Thank you, Gift. I see you. I see you, man. LibriVox can literally gives you a lot of things, a lot of books like for free. Keep reading. You go to Spotify, like it's easy actually. Keep reading. Know your history. Know your roots. Know things that happened in the past. There is no way you're gonna prepare for the future if you do not know what's happened in the past, right? This is coming from one of the best authors who say that if you wanted to prepare for the future, you need to learn the past. But sadly, so many people don't want to prepare for the future. You just want to prepare for the future, but you don't know even what happened yesterday. How are you gonna try to prepare tomorrow and you don't even know what's gonna happen today? What happened yesterday? They always say history always repeats itself, right? And we've seen a lot of things here in South Africa that so many things are keep on being repeated themselves. The March and March things. Last year it was Operation Dudula. Before that, there was operations on apartheid and stuff like that, right? Just like the Brazilian author once said, like, until the oppressed will become the oppressor. Because when you learn how to do something, you can also do that thing to another person. But you forget that that thing were done to you. Do you understand? When you accusing people of being racially abusive toward other people, some people deny it. And when you accuse some other people to be Afrophobic or xenophobic, some people deny because they don't know. They don't have any clarification about if I'm doing this is going to be a prejudice. If I'm doing this is going to be inequality to someone else who is not on my privilege alignment, if I can use the word, who is not on the same class as me. You know what I'm saying? So keep reading, read your history, watch at least the news. I know there's so much bad news over there, but nowadays with people like us, like a content creator, we're trying to bring up every piece of content every single day just to educate people, right? Follow those people that they bring those kind of content. There are plenty of influencers on Instagram, on social media, Facebook, YouTube, that they wake up, they read for you, and they come to transmit that message for you. You know what I'm saying? Keep reading, young Africans. Africa is one of the youngest continents in the world with the average of 18 to 26 years old of age. Look at the World Cup right now. Cote d'Ivoire is one of the youngest team in the entire World Cup. They average 20 years old to 26 years old. Not even France, not even Brazil, but Cote d'Ivoire. Just to tell you that Africa has a bright future. And if you are from south, east, central, west, or north, believe in Africa because this is us. Happy June 16 to all South Africans and all African in general. It's an African day, not only South African. And this was African battle, not only South African battle. Okay? Please make sure to hit the button, subscribe, activate that bell notification so I can see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.